All right, Thomas. So first off, thank you for taking the time to chat with me again.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Of course. So how excited are you to release the visual for your new single this time?
I'm really excited. We've been working on this for a couple months now, and just to see it all come to life. And, it's press week, so just having a lot of conversations with people, and, really people have gravitated towards, the mental health message about the song. So I think that's really exciting for people to have for forever, really.
For sure. And the track originally came out in early February, so it's been received by listeners very well so far.
Yes, a lot of people have reached out. They really like the vibe. All of my music, I try to really tap into different types of genre. Still overarching pop is like my direction of music, but I like to kind of dabble in. This one is the rock version, and I have another EDM song coming out later this year. So really under the pop umbrella, but
Mhm.
kind of going into different categories has been fun for me.
Awesome. So yeah, you said you kind of mentioned the mental health aspect. Tell us a little bit more about the concept of this time.
Yeah, as I mentioned previously, last year I really took the time to really educate myself on what I wanted to do to better myself and better my situation. So going into therapy, meeting with a therapist, that's something that I really never thought I was going to do. And so, you hear about conversations about seeking professional help, but really for me, it wasn't until last year that I was like, you know what, let me give it a shot.
Hmm.
And after going through therapy and, getting the help that I really wanted, it really inspired me to create a project that I felt like was going to help other people. And so, since I started my career on camera, I've always wanted to put out projects and messaging that was really going to be helpful to my audience. So, for me, coming out with this time just felt like the right time, um, and really excited for people to just have it for the rest of their lives, to just really kind of look at it, look at the project, listen to the music, see the visual, and just really understand my journey.
For sure. So what can audiences expect from the visual?
My director, Sophie, and also my co-songwriter, Christopher, we sat down and we really wanted to do kind of like a short film. And
Mhm.
so someone that, I've worked in entertainment, and, my team has just really always pushed me to do something outside of the box. And I've never done kind of like a short film aspect. So really, I take viewers on a journey of, someone who is going through rejection and just kind of like a low point in their life. And as you see the visual, they start to become more confident and start realizing that things that were important to them in the beginning weren't. And
Mhm.
so I really kind of take you through this emotional journey. There's also some symbolism of drinking and also kind of just releasing. So the song in general is just about really freeing yourself from things that might not be servicing you well anymore.
Hmm. And what do you ultimately hope audiences take away from this time overall?
I would love for them to just really feel free
Hmm.
and feel free from their past mistakes, things that they've done wrong, and just realize that every day is kind of a new beginning. You can always, find hope in new situations and just to better yourself. Also in the video, we really dive into just this feeling of being independent and not having to, need anything or anyone, and just knowing that you have a lot of strength within yourself.
Hmm.
So again, you'll see moments of me, shredding an article. You'll see me, almost, kind of diving into all my different emotions. I'm crying. I'm kind of going through a lot of different emotions that I feel like was going to really help my audience.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm just this song, and I've said this time and time again, is one of my most personal projects I've ever
Yeah.
worked on. So I'm
Hmm.
really glad that, we're here and it's coming out this week.
For sure. So have you always had a passion for singing and songwriting?
Yeah, ever since I was a kid, there's a photo of me like holding a microphone, and I've always kind of like mimicked singing, and I've always looked up to like different artists. I'm a huge fan of Justin Bieber, a huge fan of Britney Spears and Lady Gaga, all of
Mhm.
my favorites. And so I've always kind of like looked to see how they've evolved as artists. So every time I come out with a project, I'm always kind of thinking about, what's next? What haven't I
Yeah.
done? what am I really trying to push? So for me, music has always been a passion of mine. And also my debut single, Brush It Off, I actually wrote that song 10 years ago. And
Wow.
I didn't, it wasn't the right time, or I wasn't in that creative space. But, I've always been somebody that's loved music, written music. And so
Mhm.
when I wrote this time, it just really helped me also, in a way, therapeutically helped me get through a lot of what I did last year.
For sure. And I love that you're releasing the visual on World Teen Mental Wellness Day. Has mental wellness and health, have you always been an advocate for that?
Yeah, I mean, my show, Your Time with Thomas, I really dive into many different topics like that. And so for me, I think having a song actually that is dedicated to it made a lot of sense.
Hmm.
So this is why this time means that much more to me, is because now being able to also help the next generation, and mental health is such a huge topic in our society today. And so being a champion for those conversations is something that's very meaningful to me. I always try to, whenever I come out with any projects, I always try to come up with projects that I feel like is going to help, my generation, the next generation, and future generations to come. So yes.
Great. Well, why do you think mental health is still an issue that's stigmatized and often pushed to the side or swept under the rug?
Yeah, that's a great question. Ever since I was a kid as well, I think like it's kind of been, the old norm, I guess, to kind of just deal with things internally. And we didn't really have these open conversations. And so now what I'm really loving is that, especially with the Gen Zs and a lot of the communities now, having those conversations is more normalized. And
Hmm.
so for me, I think uh, more than ever now, I think mental health is something that's going to be a conversation, really a conversation that I don't think is going to end.
Yeah.
There, you see it now with athletes. Serena Williams has spoken out about it. Other
Hmm.
athletes have spoken out about it. It's something that has just not been talked about, that now is celebrated almost. I too, as I said, with this project and what I went through last year, I want to continue to be a champion for normalizing these conversations, because you see so many tragic incidents where people are not getting the help that they need,
Hmm.
and hearing the worst of the worst stories. So for me right now and going onward, that's something that I definitely hope continues to be a conversation in all households or across the country, across the world, because mental health is something that people should take very seriously.
Definitely. Do you think mental health is an even bigger issue within the LGBTQ community?
Yes, absolutely. And so for me, being part of the LGBTQ community, I think it's extremely important to continue to push the conversation of mental health. On my show, Your Time with Thomas, episode 2 of season 1, I did dive into my coming out story. And I personally feel like the earlier we have the conversations in families' households, I think the better,
Yeah.
to really have that open dialogue of how people are really feeling and what they can do to help them. So I definitely think it's more heightened in our
Mhm.
community because of those reasons. But again, I think everybody in general should have these types of conversations.
Definitely. I agree. Well, Thomas, what are some future goals you hope to accomplish with your career and platform?
For me, continuing to have fun, I think is always the first thing. If you're not having fun, then you're really not enjoying all of the
Hmm.
things that you're doing. So for me, it's just continuing to have fun, reaching out to my community and asking my audience, what they're looking for, the type of sound that they're kind of interested in, and just kind of following my heart and what I want to do. I'm really excited for, after I release this project, I'm going to take a couple months off, but I'll be back with a new single, and I'm really looking forward to releasing it. A few of my friends have heard it, and my producers and my writer have heard it, of course. So we're really looking forward to that era,
Yeah.
which is all about confidence, and I can't wait to really share that with the world. And so there's that coming up. I'm working on a few other projects with my team, really thinking about the next type of content that I want to put out. Right now,
Hmm.
the landscape with TikTok and with short form
Yeah.
content, and with YouTube evolving as well. There's so much to do.
Hmm.
And I'd also love to perform my music live. I think that's something that has been an overarching goal of mine for quite a bit of time now. So when I get that opportunity, I'm looking forward to bringing my dancers on stage and really having a full pop performance. I think that would be a lot of fun.
That'd be awesome. Yes. Well, how
Yeah.
can one stay up to date with you?
Yeah, you can follow me everywhere on social media at Thomas Orlina and visit my website, thomasorlina.com. I post on my blog. And of course, this time comes out this Thursday. So I'm really looking forward to everybody checking it out on my YouTube channel, Your Time with Thomas.
Perfect. Then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you'd like to mention or plug at this time?
Yeah, as I mentioned, just please go ahead and follow my YouTube channel, Your Time with Thomas. I have new content coming out that I'm working on. Of course, my next music video. I'm really looking forward for my audience to see it. I don't think I've released a project like this before. There's a lot of choreography. It was inspired by Britney Spears, Lady
Nice.
Gaga, a lot of really cool things coming out for Pride. So definitely stay tuned and make sure to follow my Instagram at Thomas Orlina.
Awesome. Fantastic.